Okay. We had a little side misadventure on Monday. Today is Wednesday. I was coming back from work and close to where I live, within walking distance to where I live. Coming down a road and there's a parkway exit. I'm not going on the parkway, but there's a parkway entrance and exit. There's a nice little road, and I look to my left in the oncoming lane, and I see a Mitsubishi Galant, at least 15 years old, at least, and the hood looks like a barbecue pit. All I see is either smoke or steam. I didn't know what it was at the time. And I see a woman in the back seat, Spanish woman. She's fighting to get her son out of the car. He ended up being like a nursery school age, 4, something like that. Now, you know how everyone is, right? They just keep on driving and go fuck. I immediately pull the car over. There's no sidewalk. It's like a little grass area, no sidewalk at all. And I just pulled over, and I got out of the car and I ran forward. My thought was that this was coming out. My Benchmade Houdini, courtesy of my friends at Blade HQ. Okay? But at the time I got over there, she had already extracted her son from the car. She was trying to get his seatbelt out. And she gets on her cell phone. I'm like, "You're calling the fire department?" She said, "No, I'm calling my husband. He's a mechanic." I said, "You know what? Let me call the fire department." Now, when you dial 911 on your cell phone where I live, it goes to the state police. And you gotta tell the state police where you are, and they gotta send you back down to where you are. We have a special 7-digit number, known mostly to guys in the department, but other people know as well, very few. If you're on your cell phone, you dial this 7-digit number, and like I said, very few outsiders know this information. You go directly to the department dispatch. And I said, "Okay, I'm gonna need fire assistance. I have a possible car fire here, blah, blah, blah." I had to look for the number on the building. The building was actually where the commissioner's secretary lives, believe it or not. I looked for the building, I looked for the parkway, and I'm trying to triangulate where I am. This is this street. And they want to know my name. Is the child out of the car? Yes. And the fire department was there in 3 minutes. And by the time the fire department came, it had already calmed down a little bit. And I did show the woman this when I was waiting for the fire department. She actually brought her son to hide in the lobby of the apartment building because he was cold. I did show what this was. And after the fire department came, they popped the hood. Okay, I think they were gonna tow the car or something like that, but they popped the hood. The steam was dissipating a little bit. I think it was an overheating engine. But if you saw that fucking thing, when I saw it, you would have freaked out. And I told her who I was and I was waiting for them. I told her what I do for a living and who I am. And I told the fire department, in fact, the lieutenant. I think the lieutenant was the guy that came when my father had his minute stroke a week before Christmas. Yeah. And I just said, "Listen, guys, the engine was overheating. I thought it was going to burst into flames. I pulled over. She got him out of the car, but, I just want to make sure that you had taken care of it because I don't want to, because my thought is, what if I fucking don't call fire department? And I found out the hard way that there's a fire inside and it fucking blows up. Or, God forbid, what if this woman gets back in the car and starts, that would have been stupid, but what if the woman gets back in the car and drives and then it bursts into flames? Okay, and a lot of times you call fire, you call them a tow truck or a mechanic to your location. If that engine is smoking, they're not going to touch it until the fire department signs off on it. So you're always better calling the fire department. On top of that, smoke, steam, fumes, all that other stuff going into the atmosphere is not exactly healthy to breathe in. So you always want to make sure that the fire department comes just to sign off on it, just in case. Might as well use this thing now, right? Yeah, right. Got some new DVDs here. Mine was the one playing around that. So anyway, long story short, yeah, but, and in the long run, Dick Tracy, classic. In the long run, nothing happened. The kid was safe. Fire was not existent. It was just an overheated engine that was really out of control, that dissipated on its own. But the premise is, I thought that the car was going to burst into flames. And I immediately ran over thinking this was going to be needed. And I showed this to the woman. Again, I went over to my car, I got a little scrap piece of paper. Fire lieutenant had a pen. I wrote down the name, Benchmade Houdini, blah, blah, blah. I told her what it was so she could look at it and buy it herself. I said, this will save your life. Okay? And this woman did not have anything like this in the car or on her person. And thank God the doors opened up. Thank God the kid came out. But God forbid you're in the car and someone like me isn't around. And, you know, things could have got ugly. I cannot emphasize the importance of having a rescue tool in your car. I cannot. You might have the Benchmade Houdini. You might have the Leatherman Z-Rex. You might have some kind of other tool. My father has the car cane. We keep in both cars for my family. That was with me too. If I needed that, I had that in the car. God, but I needed that too. But you never know when you're going to need it. Okay? And for 25, 30, 40 bucks at most, you never know when it's needed. Okay? It's better to spend 40 bucks and never use the item in your life than to not spend 40 bucks and find out the hard way, oh shit, you know, where is it when I need it? Okay? But that's just one of those things where you don't know what's going to happen. See, I'm used to having crap happen when I'm on the spot. I'm used to being there, being right next to them and being like, okay, grab this person, yank that person, yell at that person, stop that car. I'm used to that. I'm not used to just driving around and having an incident happen right in front of you. But once again, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to unfold. You never know when you're going to be called upon to do something. And, you know, you won't think, oh my God, this man, you know, thank God he came over to make sure it's okay, blah, blah, blah. He stayed with me, blah, blah, blah. You know, it wasn't even a thing for me. It was like, whatever. It was, I didn't want a cookie. I didn't give my autograph. I just, you know what I mean? It was just the way I am, you know. I thought the car was going to catch fire, and I thought her son's life was in danger. And you know me. The thing that separates me from most guys is when I see the problem, I go forward, not back. Just yesterday, I had a girl and her younger brother coming down the street. Some guy's trying to make a left turn. You know, you're waiting for you're trying to make a left turn. You're waiting for that move to open up for you to make a left turn. Some asshole always goes, you're making a left turn, and someone comes from behind you to go around and go forward. That always happens. This girl and her brother walked out, which I don't like, but they walked out, and one of those Jagunda friggin' pickup trucks came and made it from out behind and went straight to come forward. And I stepped in front of the car, and the car was back, and it was like 20 feet away, but this Jagunda fucking truck is gonna make a go around and come through, and the light's turning red, and he's gonna run a red light, and I just stepped in real casually, just stood there. Like, nothing. He stopped. He stopped a long distance away. There was no danger, but the point is, when danger happens, I go forward. Today, I had some people trying to get across the street, adults. Cab driver was there. He's trying to beat the red light. You know, they beat the red light, they just creep through the red light real careful, like, yeah. I stood directly in front of that cab, and I was moving to the pedestrians cleared. Okay? And that's just how I am. I'm always the type of guy that when I hear the boom, I run forward, not back. That's how I am. And But in case I'm not around, you're gonna need one of these for yourself. Just like 911. 911 is gonna take 6 minutes to get there, but okay. Goodbye.